Starting? This is timeless. At the beginning there was time, lots of it, an endless supply, stretching from one eternity to another. There wasn't anyone to question its size, volume, or makeup, which makes time a slippery thing, not easy to define or get to grips with. So over time, I guess, some weariness about its quantity and quality led to systems that were designed to record and define it. To make any reference at all to time, it had to be standardized, and the fundamental unit to this on planet Earth is the rotation around its own axis, a timely discovery, one may say, for the creators of systems. And this is where all clarity ends. The decision to whether the beginning of this axis movement is to be set at sunrise, noon, dusk, or midnight, or any other moment has been differently established in existing calendars and cultures following these time segmentations. For example, noon was the traditional beginning for an ancient nautical and astronomical day, as all observations relating to a single night would fall on the same date. The Romans started to count, like the Chinese, from midnight, whilst the Jewish and Muslim day starts at sunset. The ancient Greek and Babylonians did the same, but the Egyptians started their days from sunrise. The people from ancient Umbria, like the sailors already mentioned, started their days at noon, which to the Romans made no sense, as they distinguished the civil day, determined by law and custom, from the unanchored natural day. And just to mention, Greenwich Mean Time commenced until 1925 by the 24-hour clock at noon, before the beginning of the day was shifted to midnight. The conundrum of specifying time units and the evolution of the modern calendar making up a year with time zones and all aspects of living in our jet-set age. I like to come back to the very generic term of time as the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole, and the impact the assumed sense of what time may be has on how we communicate with each other. It is fascinating to look at phrases in our language around time. And whilst time heads towards infinity, that's not always how we refer to our most precious commodity, often expressed in time limits. In our time, we mostly have little time, or no time at all, which is why we need me time, or time out. This is the time one has to oneself, if one generally feels exhausted and life appears time poor. Me time means there's no one to share the time with, and some people may just take a nap when they have time out. If such a stretch of time goes on for too long, it happens easily that the pleasure of indulging in having time to oneself turns towards feeling more like wasting time. Generally, having the time of one's life is most often a shared experience and not conducted alone, as one of the points of having this exceptional period or being at that fabulous occasion is to be able to talk to someone else about it. Strangely, this is not what you might call a timeshare. So it's good to know when time is up, and even more so to know when it's high time to ring the changes and stop wasting time. Somehow in opposition to the time waster sits the timekeeper, who is someone just very good at keeping time by being on time. Where exactly the time is kept is not transparent. So if anyone says to you that they've got all the time in the world, that doesn't necessarily mean this person was particularly good at keeping time together in something like a large container for future usage, but is either someone slightly deluded or, more worryingly, this is someone conducting an interrogation, often in troubled times, which will not bring you to a time trial, but rather may feel like being given a hard time and lead to doing time, something very different to having time to do whatever pleases. Being locked up shares aspects with the fate of the often cited possibility being stranded on a desert island, which is not a variation on time travel, but the misfortune of someone who knows that their time will run out quickly if no one discovers their lonely existence anytime soon, possibly leading to an untimely departure. And just a note on the side, there's no one who won't find time for that experience. Time heals, we are promised, and time will tell. So how do we stand the test of time? Some of these phrases and idioms appear like time worn and are no longer the height of linguistic fashion. And instead of putting in more time and finding my way through the labyrinth of time-related expressions, I invite you to get up and keep moving for as long as you've got time. Thank you.